Hello there, I'm Zsolt. Today's video is going to be about Excalidraw automation using scripting. This is going to be extremely technical. A bit of a background story. So this morning I decided to work on my YouTube videos for this year, coming up with themes and organizing my videos. So I have a plan for what I want to publish on this channel this year. And as I was thinking about this, I thought it would be great to place all of my videos on a mind map. So normally I use this Kanban board to manage my videos, and you can see I have a couple of columns here, and I sort of use this. Frankly, I don't use it as often as I should. And yeah, I'm not disorganized. That's just the truth. So today I want to create a mind map that includes all of these thumbnails, but I want to automate this process. I don't want to drag and drop each of them one by one onto my Excalidraw canvas. I want to create a script. So how do I do that? And disclaimer, I haven't planned this video, or I haven't done this script up front, so we're going to be experimenting together. Of course, I might cut some parts out to make this watchable, but overall you're going to see me in action trying to create this simple script. So to get us started, I'm going to create an empty Excalidraw drawing by right-clicking here, and that is going to be where I want to place our mind map. I'm going to close the Kanban board, and for you to understand how this script is going to work, I need to explain just a little about how my vault is organized. So you can see that in my vault under hobbies, I have my YouTube channel, and in the YouTube channel, I have all these folders, and within the folders, I have these files. Typically, I have 2 files at minimum for each video. I have a thumbnail and a storyboard. The thumbnail is the thumbnail of the video, and the storyboard is the storyboard if I have a storyboard. Sometimes I don't have a storyboard, but this is where I put together a mind map of all the things I want to talk about. So I'm going to be using this structure to automatically bring in all my thumbnails here with a link to the storyboard. So how do I do this? I'm going to open the Obsidian developer console. So this is Control-Shift-I on Windows. It's Command-Option-I on Mac. And I'm going to just close this here. And I'll start with declaring the Excalidraw automate object. This is just the shorthand, and it seems that I wasn't in the right scope. So let's try again. So I create this object right here, and then I want to continue on with setting the view, set view. So what set view does is it attaches Excalidraw automate to the open window right here. And now I want to get the folder path of this view. So I'm going to call this, first of all, the file EA target view.file. Just for a shorthand, now I have F, and then you can see that F path includes the path of this file, and F name is the file name of this file that I'm going to use as my mind map. So that's useful. Now I want to create a list of the thumbnails. So how do I do that? I'm going to create this variable called thumbnails. Thumbnails, like that. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use app vault, and then I'm going to press Shift Enter so I can continue on in the next line. And I'm going to right here get markdown files, and then I'm going to continue on here with filter, and I want to filter the files that are in my folder, and that reminds me that we first need to create the folder path. So How do I get the folder path from F? It's easy, so it's folder path, and I'm going to write here F path split F name. So what this does is it splits the F path value at the position of a file name. So I get in the first part of this array, I get the name of the folder. So if I now add 0 here, I get the folder path here. This is great. And then thumbnails, I'm going to write app volt get markdown files, and then we're going to, actually I'm going to come up here and press shift enter. This is better. And now, so this gets all the markdown files from the vault, and then I want to filter this in such a way that I want two things. I want the F path to start with the folder path like that, and I want the F base name, actually the lowercase, because sometimes I might not be so consistent on the casing of thumbnail, the lowercase value of this to contain the word thumbnail like that. And hopefully, and I need to close the bracket there, I need to close this, and if I press enter, then I get the list of 145 files in my vault. Now let's go just a step further. I'm going to again write thumbnails, and let's just continue this logic. So now I have my list of thumbnails. I want to sort this list, so I'm going to sort this F1, F2. Sort gets two functions, and I want to sort it such that maybe let me show you first this, that if I take my file name up there, then files have a statistics, and it has this variable called ctime, which is the creation time, which I can convert into a meaningful date and time using moment like this. So moment is included in the Obsidian plugin or Obsidian environment, the moment library, and I can format this and say this should be year, month, date, day, for example. And then I can see that the file that I'm looking at right now, of course, was created on 1st of January 2024. That's today. But to use this ctime in our logic, I'm going to now continue on here with the next line, and I'm going to add sort, and I want to sort F1, F2. So sort gets two functions and compares those, and I want to sort it such that F stat ctime, actually F1 stat ctime is greater than F2 stat ctime. If that's the case, this should return -1, otherwise it should return 1. Well, if it's -1 and 1, I never know, but it's easy just to test. And then look at thumbnails 0 stat ctime. And actually I want to put this into this moment format right here, so I can see the date, thumbnails. And so the sort order is actually the wrong order, because this is the newest and I want it the oldest to be first. So I'm now going to change the logic that it should return -1 if, anyway, so I'm just switching this around. I never have the energy to think through the logic of sort. I just do this experimenting, but now if I check this, then indeed the first element of my thumbnails array is my oldest video in this vault, which is from October 3rd, 2021. So that's great. Now let's continue on with this, because there's still something I want to do here, and what I want to do, I'm going to just pull this so it sorts better. I want to also include the storyboard here, so I'm going to map the files such that, and this is going to be a bit of a longer piece of text. So first of all, I'm going to reuse this part, this short script. So I'm again getting the folder path. I'm just going to call it folder, like this. I'm going to be splitting fpath with fname, but this is now, this f is of course the thumbnail. And then I want to repeat this one right here. So I'm going to take this code and I'm going to storyboard equals app vault get markdown files filter, and here I want to put in storyboard, and here I want to just reference folder, like that. So within here I'm looking for the storyboard file, and then it's pretty simple. Now I just need to return, I'm going to return f, which is the thumbnail, and I want to return storyboard. It might be that I don't have a storyboard for a file, so sometimes I only have a thumbnail, so I'm going to put here a question mark because I don't know if storyboard exists. And then if storyboard exists, then I want to take the first element of the array and return it like this. And now I can just finish this right here and press enter. So you can see here now I have all of these arrays, and if I take thumbnails 0, it will include 2 values, and this didn't have a storyboard, but let's take maybe, it seems none of them includes a storyboard, which is getting to be suspicious. So something's up with my code. Let's just look at this once more. So storyboard app markdown files get filter. Oh, because I didn't include here 0. So this was an array and not the right value. So now let's look at thumbnails, let's say 10. Yes, there are 2 files already. So you can see here that 21 base name is the storyboard. So it seems that early on I didn't have storyboards, but later on I did. Anyway, I have my thumbnails, and now I want to add these to Excalidraw. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the EA help function to help me with the EA add image function. And it seems that for some reason console log stopped working. That happens sometimes, a very frustrating issue, and I don't have a solution for it, unfortunately. So we are not going to look at the help. My only solution at this time when this happens is to restore defaults and restart Obsidian, but then I lose all my work. Frankly, if you know how to fix this in another way, help me, because this happens to me often, that for whatever reason the developer console stops to display console log messages. Console log, so here's console log test, and there's nothing. And of course here I can click the different folders, nothing. So it just disappears, and I have no idea why this does this, but this happens to me often and super frustrating. The only solution I found on the internet was to come here to settings, restore defaults and reload, but then everything is lost. So I mean, not everything, my vault is there, but my code I need to start again, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, we are going to just write our function. So I'm going to define a value which is the column, and then I'm going to go through all the thumbnails for each, and I'm going to take the thumbnail and the index. So for each iterates in a way that you get the thumbnail first and then the index of which element you're working on. And this is going to be my function right here. And actually I'm going to start with column -1. And so what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to calculate the row such that I take index and I do the modulo 12, because I have 145, I think 12 by 12. I'm just going to import all of the thumbnails into this block. And I'm actually going to write here async. You'll see why, because I'm going to be awaiting the loading of images, and I need to make this function asynchronous for that. And if row equals 0, then I'm going to move to the next column. And this is why, by the way, I started with column -1, because right in the beginning, I'm going to increase column to get us started. And now it's going to be pretty simple, because all I need to do is I need to add EA add image, and I'm going to add my image to the X value is the top left of the, so the values here are XY, top X, top Y, width and height, and then some formatting values, which we are not going to. Image ID equals, and this function returns an ID of the image, which I want because I want to group elements, you'll see in a second, or I want to reference this image. But so I'm going to add the image, and I'm going to do it such that column, so the proportion of the images are 16 by 9, because these are all designed to be YouTube images. So I'm going to make these, let's just be simple. So width is going to be 16 times 200. No, only 20. And height is going to be 9 times 20, so that's just going to be the two values. This maintains the aspect ratio, and I'm going to have a padding that is going to be equal to, I don't know, 50. There's going to be plenty of space between the items. And so column times padding plus column times width is the X value, and then we're going to have row times padding plus row times height is going to be the Y coordinate, and then I'm going to have the width and the height. And so I've added my image. And then for the image, I want to get the image. So I'm going to get the image, EA get element image ID like this. And I want to change the image link to be, and I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to add, and I didn't add the image yet. So I need to add image. Now this is frustrating because I really don't know the, so let's do this. We're going to open an empty document just so we can look in here, and I'm going to type EA add image, and now we can look at top X, top Y, image file. So I don't give a width and height. I can probably offer that value in the scale anchor boolean. I'm going to resize this then. So this is so far good, but then I need to add the image file here. I'm going to add the image file that's the first value in my thumbnail value, and then I'm going to add a link. The link is going to be just a markdown link, and here I'm going to take the storyboard value and like this, and I'm just going to take question mark dot path, because actually this might actually be undefined. So like this is going to be good. No, not like this, like this. So if there's a storyboard, then I take the path and I'm adding it to a markdown link that I'm adding as a link to the image, and I'm going to set the image width to be width, and I'm going to set the image height to be height, like this. And I think we're probably done. So here goes nothing. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to this is probably not good because I should have awaited, but okay, so it is actually in the background doing its stuff. So you see, I'm not going to run this again because, or well, I can, but I would need to clear EA if I wanted to. But what I should have done was this to, well, actually no, I will need to rerun this. So here we go. I'm going to, and you can see that in the background this is still running. So EA, and it might actually run for a time. So what's happening is add image asynchronously loads all the images. So right now in the background, Excalidraw is loading all of these files and creating an image. But the issue is, well, let's see what happens. So EA add elements to view, and let's press enter, and let's see what happens. I did press enter. It's still timing out because I think it's still running in the background. So now, yeah, this is 145 drawings that need to be processed. So this might take a little time. So let's see what happens. My PC is spinning like mad. Oh, there you go. Something has arrived. So let's scroll back to content. Okay, so things have been added. There's, of course, the end result is not yet perfect. So you can see here that things are toppled on one another like this, but actually all of my thumbnails were loaded. So effectively we are not so bad, but let's just clear this like this. I'm going to type here EA clear like that. So I'm going to empty Excalidraw automate, and I'm going to just run this once more, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to await this, and I'm going to console log index. So I'm just going to print the index. Now, in our case, the index is not going to be printed. So all we're going to experience is that this is going to go on for ages without any feedback, but we'll live with that. EA add elements to view like this at the end once it's done. But if console log would be working for me, then when I press enter, then I would get items here one by one after each other. And of course I was silly, so I shouldn't have added add elements to view, because at that time nothing yet was created. So right now we just need to wait. You can see here that Excalidraw is loading images in the background, and some of the files have some issues that prevents them from being loaded, but okay, that's not a problem. Let's just wait until this completes. We are going to give it a few minutes, and in the meantime I have my task manager here, and you can see here that at this time Obsidian is spinning pretty fast, so it's taking up a complete CPU like that. So you can see when this number decreases, the CPU load, then I'll know that the thing has finished, and it seems the script has finished, because you can see now Obsidian is no longer spinning. And now if I come back here and add elements to view like this, then hopefully it is, yeah, again we have this big spinning, because now I have a whole bunch of, but this now looks slightly bit more organized, but for sure my sizing of the images are off. So the 16 by 9 idea didn't quite work. So you can see here that this image is completely distorted. So probably I would need to scale this better. So let's just do one more attempt, EA clear, and I'm going to do this slightly differently. So instead of a sequence, I'm going to start with index equals 0, and I'm going to write for T of thumbnails like this. So I'm switching the for each loop into this for loop. So this now is going to await each of the images, and of course here at the end I need to increase index with the next value. And here, instead of setting the width like this, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to set the width to be the width I defined there, but I'm going to set the height such that I'm going to take the width equals image width like this. So I'm storing the imported image width, and then I'm going to calculate, oh, that was much smaller issue. I misspelled width because it said width, and that's why it had 0 effect. So I was only changing the height, not the width. So you can see here, this was just my silly, so this can be height, and it is actually, I don't need to scale anything. So I'm now going to press enter. Now this time, this is going to take longer to complete, and at the end it should automatically add the item. So you can see here it's running. You can see that my CPU is spinning like crazy, but because now this is a for loop, the for loop waiting for each of the images to be loaded, it will only add elements to view when it is done. So let's look at this. Hopefully we will see this complete, and there we go, and beautiful. This is exactly what I had in mind. I imported all of my images, so now I can close this. I imported all of my thumbnails here in this beautiful matrix, and hopefully if I click on an image, like click on this one, then I actually get my link to the storyboard as well, because I added the link to the storyboard and it will actually open the storyboard file. So I'm super happy with the end result. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 as expected. rows. I'm guessing it's also 12 plus 1 columns because it was 145 items. So that's the process. I think it's a pretty straightforward process now. Of course, because I was explaining it and showing you stuff, it went slower. Normally it goes much quicker because I can just type and it gets things done. But hopefully you saw my logic of how I'm creating this script, and I hope that you take away some learning from this, and you can also use Excalidraw to automate stuff for you. I think this is one of the superpowers of Obsidian and Obsidian Excalidraw, that you can automate your workflows so simply. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments if you would like to see similar materials in the future. Thank you.